Hello students, today we'll see about the semester 2, the first practicals, that is about isolation of cyanobacteria. So before getting into the details of the experiment, let us see what is meant by this cyanobacteria. So cyanobacteria is commonly known as blue-green algae, and when you look at the characteristic features of this cyanobacteria, it is the first prokaryotic cell which has been existed on this earth. And one more feature, it is a prokaryotic cell along with the photosynthetic bacteria. It can fix the nitrogen and it has similar features related to the algae, but it is a bacteria. And one more thing, it will lack the membrane bound organelles, but it consists of thylakoids which will get scattered inside the cell. They will not present in organized manner, they will get scattered inside the cell. Apart from the thylakoids, you can see the phycobilisomes. Mainly there are two types, which are chlorophyll and phycocyanin. The chlorophyll is responsible for imparting the green color, whereas phycocyanin is important to impart the blue color. So as a result, you can see the green coloration or greenish bluish coloration when there is a growth of cyanobacteria in the water sample or in the soil samples. And one more important feature of this cyanobacteria is they can tolerate the wide range of environment, whether it is temperature or the prolonged period of desiccation or very less concentration of the salt concentration. All these varied conditions, environmental conditions, can be tolerated by this cyanobacteria. They can easily grow at those conditions. Now coming to the diversity of this cyanobacteria, they are mostly classified into three types: non-filamentous forms, filamentous without any specialized cells, as well as filamentous with specialized cells. Now coming to the first type, that is non-filamentous, the good example is Gliophocapsa, where you can see the cells will be enclosed in a mucilaginous sheath, which are the cell where the cells have been scattered. And coming to the filamentous without specialized cells, the good example is Oscillatoria, where you can see the body structure as a series of cells which is known as a trichome, and if small segment has been broken down, you can see the formation of the new filament. Now coming to the filamentous with specialized cell, the good example is Anabina, and here this has the special characteristics, that is it consists of two different types of cells which are heterocyst and akinase. This is the cyst and this is the akinete. Here heterocyst is helpful in the nitrogen fixation, whereas akinates are the thick wall cells which are involved in the germination process. So this is overall introduction about the cyanobacteria. Now we will get into the details how to isolate these cyanobacteria from different samples. We can isolate these cyanobacteria from pond water, from rice fields, as well as the soil sample. So for that, the first step, we need to collect these samples, whether it is pond water or rice fields water. That sample has to be collected in the glass bottles, or if not, if you are interested to go with the soil sample, that has to be collected in the polythene bags and they need to get it to the lab. Then whatever the sample we got to the lab, those should be serially diluted. I think you know how to go with the serial dilution. In the same manner, our own interested sample has to be serially diluted. Then each dilution has to be plated into the, or it has to be inoculated into the 20 ml Princeham's broth. This is important. We are using the Princeham's broth which is used to grow the cyanobacteria. Each sample, 1 ml of each dilution has to be inoculated into 20 ml Princeham's broth. We are using the broth, not the agar. Please remember. Now, whatever the inoculated flask have been there, that has to be incubated at 25 to 28 degrees centigrade on the sunlight. This is important because we know the cyanobacteria are photosynthetic bacteria, so obviously they need to incubate under the sunlight for about 4 to 5 weeks. Okay, now coming to the importance of this Princeham's broth. So when you look at the composition of the Princeham's broth, It is made up of potassium nitrate, which is the nitrogen source, and magnesium sulfate, which is a source of ions, and ammonium hydrogen phosphate, which is also a nitrogen source, calcium chloride, which is a source of ions, and iron chloride, which is the source of iron. So here I had indicated the composition per liter. This is the values per preparation of 1 liter of Princip's broth. But if you are going with the high media, where all the ingredients will be mixed up to form the high media, no need to go with the individual composition. So when you are using the high media, it is very simple. 0.24 grams of that high media has to be dissolved in 1000 ml water. That will make the Princip's broth. But obviously at last we need to go for sterilization, that is autoclaving at 121 degrees centigrade for 15 minutes. Okay, so after 4 to 5 weeks, how do you observe the growth of the cyanobacteria? We can see inside the flask, we can see the growth of long green thread-like structures, which are nothing but the blue-green algae or cyanobacteria. I hope the protocol is clear. Thank you. Hello students, today we will see how to isolate the cyanobacteria from paddy field water. So it is not necessary to go with the paddy field water. You can use a soil sample or else you can go with the pond water. So now I am using the paddy field water to isolate the cyanobacteria. So we are ready with the sample, and the other requirements for this experiment is Princip's media. Either you can, here I had prepared by taking the high media. So here you can see Princip's media. So where all the components will be mixed together and you will be getting a high media. So directly you can take 0.22 grams of this into 100 ml of Princip's media. So roughly I had prepared 250 ml of Princip's broth. Or either you can go with different components like potassium nitrate, magnesium sulfate, ammonium hydrogen phosphate, and calcium chloride and iron chloride, which I had discussed during the explanation. So like that you can go with the different components, weigh them accurately by using the weighing machine and prepare the media. So now I had prepared by using the high media itself. So now the media is also ready and the sample is ready. And we need to go with the, before the experiment, we need to be ready with the serial dilution tubes. So I took 10 serial dilution tubes, which is having about 10 ml of, 9 ml of water in each test tube. Right? So these are the major requirements to start the experiment. So how to go with the experiment? So before, as I said, before starting of any experiment, you need to clean the specific area with the spirit. So that I am done. So I had cleaned the area by using the spirit. Now I am going to show you how to go with the serial dilution. So I am taking the sample. Now by using the micropipette, I am taking 1 ml of sample, which is the paddy field water. I took 1 ml and this one will be transferred to the first test tube. So it's better to label the tubes. So I had labeled the tubes. 10 to the power of -1 tube. So in this I had dispensed the sample, which is about 1 ml. Now again close the mouth with the cotton plug, mix it and transfer to the next tube. So this will become 10 to the power of -2 dilution. So again mix it and then take 1 ml from this one and go to the next tube, which is 10 to the power of minus 3 tube. Okay, mix it and then take 1 ml from this. So like this you need to go up to 10 to the power of minus 10 tube. So this will become 10 to the power of minus 4 dilution. Mix it and then take 1 ml from this one and go to the another tube. So I am mixing the contents with the micropipettes. So again I am taking and go to the other dilution. Okay, so like this you need to go up to 10 to the power of 10. So from 10 to the power of minus 10 dilution tube, take out the sample and discard it. Okay, so that you should not forget. So take the sample and discard. Okay. Now we are ready with the samples. So I think I am done with the 10 to the power of minus 5 only. Okay, so I am done the dilutions up to 10 to the power of minus 5. Only 5 tubes have been done. So these 5 dilutions we need to inoculate into the 5 conical flasks, which already I had made it ready with the Princeton's Princeton's broth, which is about 20 ml in each flask. Okay, so as I am done with the 5 dilutions, I will inoculate those 5 dilutions into the 5 flasks. If you are ready with the 10 dilutions, you can transfer 10 dilutions into 10 respective flasks. Okay, so now I'll just go with the first dilution. So this is 10 to the power of minus 1 dilution tube from here. So I am taking the tip. So from here, take out the sample, first dilution tube sample, and inoculating the dilution sample into the flask. Okay, so like this you need to go with all the dilutions. This is the third dilution. So I am taking 1 ml of the sample and inoculating into the flask which is having the Princeton's broth. Now 10 to the power of minus 4 dilution and inoculating into the respective flask. And this is the last. 10 to the power of minus 5 dilution. Okay. So we are done with the 5 dilutions. So where to incubate these samples? Already we had discussed the cyanobacteria will grow at the room temperature, but the most important one, you need to incubate under sunlight. So you need to incubate for 4 to 5 weeks. After that you can observe the growth of the cyanobacteria in these 5 flasks. Okay. So like this, after incubation, you can see the growth of the cyanobacteria like this. Nicely you can see the growth of long green thread-like structures in the broth. I hope the experiment is clear. Thank you.
మధ్యలో నొక్కలు